So today's International Women's Day, and what I wanted to do was to interview some inspiring women from the Chichester area. So Emma Schwarz is an amazing woman, and we're sat here in her, what would you call it? This is your cafe business?
I think we've called it an eatery.
Eatery?
But yes, it's like a sort of hybrid restaurant. It's sort of half shop, half restaurant.
Very eclectic. I mean, it's just fabulous. So tell us just a little bit about sort of how you got to do this, to set up your own business. And I know you're expanding as well. It's such a brilliant success story, but tell us a little bit about what you've done.
Massive, long journey. Just it's sort of organically grown slowly at lots of different stages. So it was never, it's going to be this, and then it was that. It sort of started as I want to bring more local food to Chichester and do it in a really homely fashion. But then it's kind of grown and grown because of the garden and the chalets and lots of COVID pivots. And so, yeah, but food probably has always been in my soul and in my DNA, and it should be made with love. Yeah, so that's what we're doing. And
that's what the place feels like, doesn't it? It just, I mean, it's kind of like a home with a hug, but it's not. It's an eatery as well, and that's. I mean, it's a lovely place, very eclectic, but it just so interesting, so stimulating, but also so comforting as well. Yeah. But you're actually now expanding to actually onto which street is that?
That's East Street.
East Street. Yeah. So that's going to be the Barn Townhouse. So this is the Barn in Little London, and that'll be the Barn Townhouse. So first of all, did you ever think you'd have an expanding food business in Chichester? No. I mean, very entrepreneurial. And what's your vision for that?
We definitely did not expect that. It was, honestly, it was a bit like finger in the air when we started. It was just like, I don't know, should we put down we might serve 50 people a week? It was like that. We had to make it up. We didn't know how many people would come, and we knew that in Little London we were going to be challenged with being, off pitch and not on the prime retail. So we knew
it's in a little side street, isn't it?
Side street. So what this next one gives us is that high street footfall, and unfortunately in retail, footfall and visibility does matter. Yeah. And I think what we've done is we've done a wonderful journey here of 2.5 years of making it viable. But now what we've got to do is benefit from a lot more visibility. The amount of people that just stumble over us and just say, I did not know you were here. And so we're looking forward to going there and having this instant awareness that we're in Chichester and we've arrived.
Well, it's a perfect location. It's a beautiful building as well. But you're still keeping this one. So you're going to have the two. And I suppose still the same concept. So did you ever think you'd have your own business? How did you get to the point, and when did you start your own business? Did you start it very young, or was it partway through your career?
Honestly, I didn't think, I want my own business one day. I want to be my own boss. There was never really any of that. It was probably motherhood that pushed me to do it, because I had a large corporate job and had been working very hard all around the country. And then when I'd had my second child, I really was struggling to juggle all of that. And so actually I took some time off, and then I thought, well, actually, maybe the best way to earn money and do something that I really love is to do something that I set up myself. And that's where I set up my other business, which was 12 years ago. And then that really has led me to food, because it was through the other business, celebrating independent retail, that I came across the food producer sector, and I fell in love with the people, because the people who are in small food production are often not in it for money. They're in it because they believe in food, and they believe in the power of food and quality and taste, and they just want to delight the person who's going to eat it. And I thought that was wonderful.
So what advice would you have for somebody who's sort of thinking about what to do in their future?
I think it's really important to always remember that life is one big, huge journey. And so therefore, actually,
you can't really plan it out, can you, really?
No, you can, don't get me wrong, there are people that have burning desires and wishes or whatever it might be, but actually life is this wonderful journey of lots of different experiences, and good ones, bad ones, and everything. And often it sounds cliched, but things lead you onto other things, and that's definitely what's happened. I live by the statement in my life, which is it always takes longer than you think it will. And it always does. So I feel like now, and I think you can't get hung up about the timing of things. You have to try and be at peace with things happening for a reason.
And the journey.
At
peace with the steps of the journey.
Yeah,
I think that's, I mean, I always say to people, obviously as education secretary now, people always talk about careers and young people, and they say, well, in some ways it's about just starting.
Yeah.
Because virtually anybody you speak to, if you'd have asked me, would I ever thought I'd be a politician, in my 50s? No, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have even imagined anything that would have got me to that place in life. And I suppose that's a bit like you. You probably wouldn't have imagined this, that this business, and it's a super successful business. It's really, really well loved in Chichester, and I'm sure everyone's going to be absolutely delighted when we get the barn townhouse. What's the best advice you've ever got?
I think if you do believe in something, though, you have to be relentlessly fearless about doing it, because there's been so many times on this journey for me where there's been so many times I could have not done it, walked away, held back. And I think when you do actually believe in something and you feel it in your bones and your gut, then you have to absolutely relentlessly go for it and actually try not to listen to other people. So I think that's the biggest advice I did have once, which was that
to back yourself, basically. Back yourself.
Yeah,
that's very good advice. And on International Women's Day, I think something that maybe women don't tell each other enough.
Yeah.
We should not only back each other and have each other's back, but back yourself.
Exactly.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Thank you.